Hello and welcome to Absent in the Rain, a visual novel developed by Diorama, available on Steam and itch.io, and apparently it's about a mysterious senpai and a murder case. I guess we'll see what happens. And I'm not sure if this game is particularly a horror game necessarily. I don't think it's tagged as horror necessarily, but it might have some disturbing elements, however, so viewer discretion is advised. But let's begin. I don't think it's a horror game. It's not meant to be scary necessarily, but obviously the whole idea of a murder case, I guess it's meant to be for mature audiences, at least a little bit. Anyway, sharing an umbrella. Okay, well this is Senpai, so I'm assuming her, she's saying this. They say that the person who gets wetter while sharing an umbrella is the one most in love. So they say. Okay, Haruya, I assume is the main character. Can I see your shoulder for a second? Do you realize that, as a human being, that's the worst thing you could have possibly said? She chuckles next to me, under the same umbrella. One umbrella is too small for two people. Our shoulders and arms touch again and again, even though I'm being careful. It's so awkward. Whoa, Haruya. Oh, that's just some random person. One of my male classmates passing by glances at me before looking away. He's riding his bicycle and wearing a raincoat. Under the raincoat, the rainy season school uniform peeks out. Is he someone you know? Well, he's a classmate. Barely an acquaintance, really. Looking at the back, wearing the raincoat, she grins. That's just right. What is? There'll be rumors about us. Just what are you talking about? People also say the rumor lasted 75 days. So they say. Yeah, and that's more than enough. More than enough for what? 2 months, so until August? During summer vacation, with the rumors. Indeed, what should I do? Will you please do nothing? With a light smile, Senpai simply replies that she will behave. My eyes are probably as moist as the humidity of the rainy season. Her jet black long hair is wet from the rain and gives us a luster. The color of my senpai's hair is that of a wet crow feather. Her dark eyes, which stand out against her white skin, are peeking out behind her long eyelashes. Her gaze returns to me. My consciousness is sucked into those eyes like the night sky. My heart jumps as if I've tripped, and my breath becomes a lump in my throat, blocking it. I turn my face away in reflex. Then she puts her lips close to my ear. You're embarrassed. Your face is beet red. Please don't whisper in my ear. Please don't do impromptu ASMR. I'm gonna close the umbrella. That's fine by me. I was about to go home wet anyway. Today she didn't bring her umbrella. When it was time to go home, she walked briskly from the school entrance in the middle of the rain, turned around and called out to me with a, "Shall we go?" A weirdo, and eccentric yet beautiful. That's my senpai, and also typical anime girl protagonist actually. It's always super pretty and everything, right? But then she's slightly weird, so obviously the protagonist has a chance of her, Anyway, while admiring this always striking person, I raised the umbrella over her head. And now here we are. I quite like walking in the rain though. What do you like about that? Even if you cry, nobody will find out. Huh? Oh, was my joke too high level? I'm so tired I could cry. Should I hold the umbrella now? Or should I hold the umbrella now? That feels weird. Again, this game was, by the way, I never mentioned it, I guess in the video, but basically this game got translated pretty recently. This game came out a bit ago, last year I think, but it's only been translated recently. So I do feel there might be a little bit of rough translation. I've noticed it a little bit so far. Some things are just lost in translation, I feel like. But it's not too bad though, it seems like. I don't know. Anyway. No, it's fine. We walk in the silent rain. When sharing an umbrella, your steps are much slower than usual. That means more time to talk and even more of my senpai's unique conversation. The amount of chatter spouting from her lips is akin to the amount of rainfall during the rainy season. Eventually, we come to an intersection. From there onwards, I'll go straight while she turns. This is the place to say goodbye. Oh, yes, that's us. Generic male protagonist. Thanks, Harukin. We look at each other under the umbrella. For letting me under your umbrella. Thank you. I'll be fine from here. Will you walk by yourself in this rain? She nods. Many thoughts come to mind. Senpai will get drenched. Won't it be better if I accompany her halfway through? Even someone like her could get sick after walking under the rain. You know, which is a very controversial debate, by the way, whether or not you actually get sick from the rain. I'm a believer, you know? I'm a believer that if you walking outside, like drenched in the rain, you are more likely to get sick. Like, obviously, you don't get sick directly from the rain, or at least it's unlikely, though. I imagine there's a bit of bacteria from rain, I feel like, you know, depending on where the rain came from, you know? Acid rain exists, right? So, like, it depends on where the water gets evaporated from and which region. But generally speaking, you know, you don't get directly sick from the rain, which I feel like what most people are arguing against. But I do believe you can get sick because, you know, what happens is if you get drenched in the rain, your body temperature goes really low because your clothes get drenched, you know, and it's like doesn't keep you warm anymore, so you just get really cold. And like what happens when you get really cold is like your body has to spend time warming itself up, and therefore your immune system is not as strong, I feel like, and then you're more likely to get sick, right? I don't know, it does increase your chances of getting sick in general, I feel like. But anyway, but if I suggest that, won't it be a nuisance for her? Since in the first place she herself said it was okay, I guess, you know, to walk in the rain. Then, Harukin, see you tomorrow. My voice is clogged. Before I realize, my mouth is moving on its own. Yes, see you tomorrow. Ashita? Ashita means tomorrow in Japanese. But what do you say, like, or what do you say, jane? Jane, you know, for see ya, I guess. That's very casual, though. Ashita, mata ashita? I can't remember how you say see you tomorrow in Japanese. Mata ashita? Ashita mata? I don't know, anyway. My Japanese is so bad. I took one course, but it's been so long. I have no idea. Anyway, I let out a sigh while looking at her back, getting smaller in the distance. See you. While I was hesitating whether to speak up or not, I missed my timing, and the moment flowed away. Whenever something like this happens, I am left with a bad aftertaste. If she were to catch a cold because of this, I'm sure today's events would weigh in my conscience forever. My shirt is getting wet on the right shoulder. The moist feeling makes me return to reality. Call back, you know, to the fact that your shoulder is wet. Before I get any wetter, I start heading back home, my guilt trailing behind me like a shadow. I can hear the sound of the rain in the distance. While being alone under an umbrella is spacious, it feels somewhat empty. Nani? The heck's that? I don't know. Alright. Diorama, which is the developer, which I think is pronounced diorama, even though it's like D10, but you know, it's stylized. Alright, here you go. I mean, here's like a little anime opening. I guess I'll keep my mouth shut. I'll shut up now. Alright, there you go. It's like a thing that visual novels do. They always do have a little anime opening. But, I mean, so far it does look pretty... it has pretty good production value, you know? At least for a visual novel, anyway. Let's see. The following day after school, in the literature club room... Senpai is laying face down her desk and stares at the sky with languid eyes. Her silky hair hangs over her arm and flows down the desk, flooding the tabletop in black. Seeing that listless appearance, I can't help but remember what happened yesterday. Are you not feeling well? Nope, just tired. It's not like I caught a cold, so don't worry. Her words ease a lump in my chest. It's rare to see you tired. Yeah, it's weird. She puts her chin up on her arm and faces my way. Even though I see your face every day. What am I, an energy drink? Must be because we haven't done any skinship lately. I don't remember us ever doing that. But let's start now. Let's not. Let's just reject her advances. Because that's a typical, male protagonist thing to do. Obviously. Yeah. When I say that, she once again puts her left cheek down on her desk. I want to go out. She mutters quietly. Where to? Have you heard of the... this word that I always, I remember mispronouncing. Hydrangea, right? Hydrangea. Even though I want to say hydrangea, No, it's hydrangea. Hydrangea? Damn it, hydrangea. Have you ever heard of the hydrangea garden? I do know a little bit about the hydrangea garden she just mentioned. It's a rather far place, and from our neighborhood, you can't get there without changing trains and buses. It's quite far. Yeah, but I want to go. I like hydrangeas. Is that so? It's the first time I hear of it. What about you? Do you like flowers? It depends on what kind. I like flowers like cherry blossoms, plums, and wisterias. I think hydrangeas are good too. Do you have a type? She laughs. It doesn't seem like she's looking for an answer, so after some hesitation, I end up not saying anything. Hey, Haruya-kun. She slowly raises her body and says, don't you want to go? See the hydrangeas? With you? On our next free day, together. Do I want to go out with Senpai and visit the hydrangea garden? Well... My voice comes out strange. Isn't it supposed to rain on both Saturday and Sunday? I blurt out something irrelevant. What does it matter if the weather's good or bad? Is it nice? Hydrangeas look good in the rain. Luckily or unfortunately, she doesn't seem to care about the weather forecast. Does that mean I'll be hanging out with her? Yeah, I guess. People don't usually go out when it rains. Saying that, she rounds her back and buries her mouth in her arm. It's painful to see her so lonely, and I feel the need to say something. But I think it's fine. You think it's fine? Yeah, that even if it's raining. For real? Her face suddenly brightens and I sense something has gone wrong. With my comment, I just meant that I think there's nothing wrong with going out in the rain or something like that. She, however, seems to have taken a different context. I'm happy. I'm looking forward to it. Looking at her smiling face, I can't bring myself to correct the misunderstanding. Senpai. Yes? It's my fault for not making my reply clear, so I want to fix it. Let's go out together on the weekend to see the hydrangeas. Yeah, I know. Why don't we organize a trip? And so we start talking about our sightseeing plans. As we finalize the schedule, the trip is quickly becoming a reality, and I grow more and more psyched. At some point I stopped thinking, and I probably talked a lot of nonsense. Can you believe it? We have the whole thing planned now. Well, we did make it with the idea of carrying it out. By the end of our planning, I've calmed down. We will meet in front of the station before noon, have lunch, then get on the bus. We'll spend the afternoon visiting the hydrangea garden and sightseeing. Perfect. This kind of date is perfect. I want you to come prepared, Haruya-kun, because you're an accomplice now. Actually, I want to bring up a certain topic, but it's difficult to do so in front of her smile. I just want to make sure of one thing. Yes, what is it? She tilts her head and I begin to talk as if pulling a string of memories out of my brain. It's about the hot topic of the last few days, the serial murder case. And I'm going to bring up murder real quick. What a very romantic topic. Her eyes widen at my words. A murder case has recently taken the world by storm. Incidents have occurred nationwide, and the corpses left behind have been horribly disfigured. It's even said that the parts of the body are often missing. The culprit hasn't been caught yet, and since the rage of crimes is all over the country, it's not possible to trace the culprit's footsteps. Yesterday, a corpse was discovered all the way north, and today a new one has appeared at the far end of the south on the main island. Those mysterious incidents raise the possibility of multiple perpetrators. You like the setting? I mean, I guess so. I mean, it seems very generic though so far, but I mean, that's fine. Seems like, typical like Japanese high school, I want to say. Though for some reason her uniform doesn't look like high school. It reminds me of middle school actually, but I'm not sure about that actually. I have no idea. What the different uniforms of like Japanese schools are, really. I just know it's at least in anime, it's infamously known as seifuku, or like sailor uniforms. Anyway, I just want to make sure. Right now, we can't say that it's absolutely safe, can we? But we're going anyway. At my words, a little groan comes out from the back of her throat, and she takes a long breath. If you want to say that we're being conceited or careless, you aren't wrong, but I think it's fine as long as we don't go out at night. And in the first place, we're still attending school like usual. Alright, I just wanted confirmation. If you're worried, do you want to cancel? No. I shake my head. We've already planned everything. Right, yes, that's right. She laughs. She laughs and I smile. Suddenly, my smartphone vibrates in my pocket. It goes bzzz. When I take it out, I find that a classmate whom I talk to often has sent me a photo. Ah yes, of course. Haruya and Yukino. I guess Yukino is her name? At least her last name, I guess. Typically, people use their last names, in Japanese culture, right? To address each other usually. Unless you're like really close. This is when you use first names. Well, it depends. Depends on your first name or some other context? In other contexts? Anyway. Drawn on the blackboard is a doodle of a shared umbrella of a heart, and two names line up under it. Haruya Shitaji? Haruya Shitaji and Yukino Akabane. I don't even have the energy to reply, so I just sigh. Why on earth should I start correcting the rumor? But there are a few things about the image that strike me. One is the speed in which the rumor spread. The second is that the symbol of a shared umbrella of the names of a man and woman below is still deeply rooted in our modern society. And finally, it's the star quality of my senpai, whose name is known even to my classmates who don't know her personally. She has a kind of genius. What's wrong, Haruya-kun? Why are you sighing? She had gotten up from her seat and was leaning against the window, and now is calling out to me with her usual faint smile. I close my phone and answer. I was thinking that I'll be hanging out with an amazing person. Amazing enough to make you sigh? You'll make me blush. She laughs. June, looking at the skies through the window of the cramped club room, it looks like it'll rain again. Like, are they dating already or are they not? I'm not sure now. Because it feels like a typical thing where like the male protagonist or whatever has a crush on this obviously like beautiful woman who's like, a genius apparently, but like slightly weird, and therefore, again, he's the only one that can actually date her or whatever. But it also kind of seems like they're really familiar with each other, so it does actually seem like they're dating, maybe. I don't know. But then he's also hesitant sometimes. So it's like, I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know what their relationship is actually like. Exactly. And from now on, it's time to go around and look into clubs. To all the new students. Along with the school broadcast, the students leave the classroom and step into the hallways. The school is filled with voices. The flow of people, the voices of those recruiting new members, it's lively. For the time being, I follow the crowd and escape into the corridor. Would you like to try track and field? Are you interested in the drama club? There's no club activity in particular that I want to check out. I like reading, so I might peek at the literature club, though I don't really like writing. On the other hand, if I go straight home, then I won't be able to make a decision. There's a lot of enthusiasm swirling around to get a freshman, and that attention is on me at times too. And each time I give a vague, indecisive answer. I wish I could say no more casually. After all, to them, I'm just one more potential candidate. I wander around school hoping to escape from the crowd. I mean, this seems to take place, in the past, maybe? because this is like, I guess, before he joined the literature club. It seems like he was in the literature club before, in the previous scene. In the end, I drove into the unused classroom in a separate building away from the main school building. It's a place strangely filled with tranquility, and neither the voices of invitations nor any footsteps can be heard. Even though no one is here, I feel nervous about entering a classroom on my own. I cautiously step inside. Chairs and desks are neatly arranged and quiet. When must this class be used? The backgrounds have more details. I think it has like just typical like. It looks like typical visual novel backgrounds actually, and sometimes I think they're using stock photos. Actually, I think this city in particular is just a stock photo. They just blurred it, you know. Anyway, it looks okay. You know, they're definitely more how do you say, more production value than your typical like indie visual novel. I feel like. So, do you consider this a visual like a indie visual novel? I mean, maybe I guess. Actually, I'm not familiar with the developer. So I have no idea if they're like the indie studio or anything. But this game is actually on Steam as well, so I mean, it looks kind of professional actually. Anyway, I lean back on the window. You can see the cityscape in the distance, and the horizon is visible. I look at my reflection in the window and sigh. It's probably made over a longer time period. Yeah, I mean, it depends. I mean, it depends on what games I play, I guess. But this one is definitely like it seems like a more full game. Anyway, I have a feeling that the person I see there is going to spend his high school life as if it were someone else's problem. If you don't like crowds, you should just go home. Okay, I'll take that advice. Goodbye. So then why would I have come to an empty classroom like this and I'm staying inside a school bring full of newcomers and club invitations? You know, it's funny. Yeah, because I feel like it's a trope. I don't know if it's like, I don't know if it's as common in like real life in Japanese schools or whatever, but like I know for me anyway, when I went to high school, I didn't join any club. You know, I was the going home club. You know, why would I waste time at school? I already am at school for like most of the day. I'd rather go home and play video games. You know, that's looking back though, I guess it might have been better. I might have been more productive if I did something else other than play video games. But I don't know. I wasn't really interested in anything, so I just go home. Anyway, the view is nice. I turn my head around with a sudden voice. A girl is standing next to me. A beautiful person with white skin and long black hair. Okay, so this is kind of like a flashback, which is kind of hard to tell because usually a flashback is in black and white, right? But the whole game seems to be in black and white. So, but I guess this is a flashback of when he first met her. You know, now that I think about it, I do wonder why the ends of her like ribbon like kind of like frayed, you know, kind of like damaged. I wonder why that is. Is that normal? I don't know. When did it happen? I'm sure the door was closed. The view is nice. She gives me a gentle smile, a smile that looks as though directed at someone who has been with her for many years. Yes, that's all right. I have a hard time replying properly. I wish I could talk more casually, but it's difficult for me. I think it through before speaking. I also think a lot about the words I choose. I mean, that's just a typical introvert, you know? Yes. However, the other person nods without caring about my stuttering. Very much so. Somehow she seems like a unique person. She has a peculiar timing. Now, I guess she's peculiar in many ways, since she's purposely away from the bustling school building that's busy recruiting new students. Spring is nice. Is that so? The sky is bright. I agree. It's completely different from winter. Yes, it's warm. It's warm indeed. You know, what a riveting conversation. It's spring. What's with her? Is she equipped with an engine that keeps her talking endlessly? She's like a AI chatbot. The air smells good in spring. Well, now that you mention it, is it the scent of flowers? For sure. The spring air smells sweet. Where does its scent come from? I want to open the window and try touching the spring air, but I look sideways and hesitate. I fear that if I open the window now, the conversation will go on eternally. I feel like I would have to talk to this person forever, and I don't want to do that. I'm like a super introvert. I'm not good at being involved with others. It's more than I can handle. Spring has come to this city, a new spring. It seems that she can keep going even if you leave her alone, whether you want it or not. Looking at the scenery of the city like this. While saying that, she leans her back against the window. It makes me feel like everywhere is a city, right? Eh? Wait, I suddenly no longer follow. I don't understand, but that doesn't mean I don't share the feeling. It just means I can't quite grasp what she's trying to say. I'm sorry. Could it be that I've been saying weird things all this time? When I'm at loss for an answer, the other person laughs embarrassedly. No. Her expression was so lonely that I unintentionally raised my voice. Well, I mean, I think hard and finally squeeze out an answer. Looking at the scenery of the city makes me feel like everywhere is a city. I can easily find a reason to agree with her. If you look at the city, then everything's a city, but is that all? This seemingly meaningless conversation, maybe there's something deeper in it. The city, no. There's a city wherever you go, because a city is where people live. I don't know what to say, so even though I'm talking, I have no idea what I'm saying. I let my mouth move while my brain tries to keep up. If I stop now, we'll be in silence, and that'll be really awkward, obviously. Why am I even doing this? No matter where you are, it's filled with places where people live, and people's life activities continue. I guess it's that kind of feeling, right? The girl looks surprised as the answer I managed to work out. Then she laughs, and the tension I could feel from her is lifted. Yeah, you understand. That was the correct answer. Ooh, was it a quiz? Silence fills the classroom again. At least I managed to overcome the city situation, but what now? It's like every step of the conversation somehow is like a boss battle. I don't know. I look out the window again. I can't exactly leave just yet. Silence. I wish I could say something witty. Unfortunately, I'm no good at that sort of thing. In the silence, the other person also turns to face the window. She stretches out her arm in front of me and unlocks the window latch. The window is now open. The rushing wind ruffles the girl's hair. With her long hair blowing in the wind, she calls out to me. The wind is nice. Right. Here, the window. She smiles. You look like you wanted me to open it. Why? This moment stays burned in my mind. Back then, did I really want Senpai to open the window? At that time, I was struck by something like an incomprehensible deep emotion, and I couldn't say anything. Startled, I snap out of my abstraction and I turn to face the window again. No, rather than to the window, I turn to the blowing of a new wind. My name is Yukino Akabane. I'm a second-year student. What about you? I'm Haruya Shitaji, a freshman. I see, Haruya-kun. Yes? Come with me. I follow behind the person whose name I didn't even know until a moment ago. We leave the classroom, pass through the crowds of the main school building, and arrive in front of a small classroom. Is this... All club activities are in full swing. I also have to fulfill my duties as a literature club member. She opens the door. The literature club room is so small that it makes me think it's a storeroom or something. There's a large table in the center and a girl who seems to be a senpai is sitting in the back. She has brown hair tied in 2 braids and wears glasses. Welcome back. I'm back, President. Okay, another character that looks somehow weirdly drawn. I don't know. Different pose, I feel like. It looks like you harvested, as expected, of Bani-chan. I'm more than happy to meet your expectations. Expectations. I didn't have any particular expectations of you, though. The club president laughs. Akabane Senpai also laughs. The 2 girls seem to have a unique relationship. Want to take a seat? Alright. Your seat is across from mine. Yes, thank you. You can open the club room freely. The club advisor and I have the key, so when you want to borrow it, it'll be quicker if you speak to the teacher in the staff room. Why are you talking on the premise that I'll be joining the club? Won't you? I sigh. From the seat directly across from Akabane Senpai, I say, I think I'll join. That makes me happy. She laughs and I smile. Senpai smiles and then she looks out the window. Are we senpai? No, I think, well, she's senpai. She's the senpai. Yukino is the senpai. And technically, the glasses girl is also senpai, I guess. She's older. Spring really is nice after all. She seems to be having fun and looks like someone reliable. This person will take me somewhere far away. That's what I felt. On that day, the three of us looked at the clear sky and the scenery outside. Ah, indeed. And tomorrow Senpai and I will go someplace far. Following in the footsteps of my senpai, even if we never touch each other directly, we'll still go far. In bed, the things that have been scattered in each of my chests are gathering, solidifying. With a sense of security that resembles determination, I fall asleep. Okay. I guess were we just reminiscing about that? When we were sleeping? I don't know. Also, I'm going to save again. I don't know why, but I'm just going to save. Even though there's no real decisions to make. Let's see. It's strange. What is? Doesn't the scenery you see from the bus window look completely different from usual? Look at this city too. A rainy city flows outside the window. She looks deeply at the window dripping with water of the bus. The fact that you came in uniform is more strange to me than anything else. It's amazing that she's wearing her school uniform even though it's the weekend. Well, obviously the artist didn't want to draw a different uniform, or the budget's tight. I've heard rumors that some people even spend their holidays in uniforms, but I never thought I'd see it up close. I like uniforms. You do? Yes. Don't you feel it's out of the ordinary? I think I kinda understand, but we wear uniforms at school, which takes up most of our daily lives, so if that isn't ordinary, then do you consider the weekend to be the actual ordinary time? Look, Harukin, there are a lot of people lined up over there. Senpai's daily life seems to be full of surprises and discoveries. I like windows. You can see various sceneries flow, and the outside world spreads endlessly. I'll probably never get tired of looking. I kind of understand how you feel. Speaking of getting tired of things, no matter how out of the ordinary it is, won't you get bored of wearing the uniform every day? If there isn't ordinary, there can't be unordinary either. I'm not tired of it so far. In the long run, high school itself is a special event in life. That's philosophical. Doesn't it apply today too? Going out somewhere with someone. From the sound of it, even she seems to believe that going to see the hydrangeas together is unusual. Well, I think it would be better if I had to come in gym clothes. What do you mean? Are gym clothes even more extraordinary? You're nuts. Okay. You'll stay for this game? Well, actually, this game might take a bit, I feel like. It'll be at least, I feel like, 2 hours. This game's pretty long. I think relatively, anyway. The bus carries out extraordinary life. She's walking in front of me, spinning and hopping, the hem of her skirt and her black hair dancing under the red umbrella. Surrounded by blue, purple, and pink hydrangeas, she's innocently playing around. Why do humans only have eyes in front? I want to keep everything in sight, but I just can't. She wants to turn into like a weird lizard chameleon thing. Hearing her say that, happy like a child, an unintentional smile spreads on my face. I mean, yeah, it says an hour, but like, obviously I read everything aloud, so it's usually long. Because reading in your head is a lot faster, right? That would be quite difficult to achieve. Having said that, I'm also excited about the hydrangea garden. The hydrangeas grow as far as the sea. Combined with the drizzle, it feels as we're walking in another world, isolated from anywhere else on Earth. Lovely. It's really fantastic. The hydrangeas are blooming everywhere, enveloping me. The world continues beyond the fog, and you're here. Me? Yes. She suddenly stopped spinning. Her skirt and hair float and sway. If you weren't with me, I wouldn't be as happy. Is that so? If anything, my image of Senpai is that of a person capable of being free and cheery anytime, anywhere. How to put it? Had I been here alone, I'm sure I would have been scared, just a little bit. It's so beautiful and wonderful, and the scenery goes on forever, and I suddenly wondered if I could really go back to where I started. It's like I both understand and I don't. Again, if you want to watch the whole thing, I'll probably have it, as a video later on if you watch the VOD. What's a hydrangea? I mean, it's a flower. It's a type of flower, right? Anyway, however, I'm relieved when you're here. I can clearly see that I can go back. I feel like I've been told something really outrageous. I wait patiently for her words. So, anyway, With you, I can go far. Do you understand what I want to say? What should I do? All kinds of feelings well up, yet when I try to put them to words to say out loud, I suddenly feel suffocated. Any word seems imprecise, inappropriate, misleading, inadequate, and unsuitable for me to utter. But I want to answer something. I believe I have to answer, and in the end, the words that come out are just these. I want to understand. I want to understand. She repeats my words. I want to understand. I don't think it's a very nice thing to say, or rather, isn't the same as saying I just don't get it? She laughs. I've been looking down without realizing, and when I lift my gaze, I see her advancing forward with hopping steps. I don't understand. Yes? I don't understand how I feel right now. I don't know what to say. Saying that while laughing, she moves farther and farther away. I don't get it. I don't understand, but she seems happy. Actually, Senpai. That being said, all her hopping around is dangerous, so I call out to her from afar. Watch your step. And then she dies. She freaking dies. She falls, hits her head, and instantly dies. No. What just happened? I don't know. If I had to say, it looked like a mass of shadows. Something popped out of the ground, snatched something from Senpai's hand, and disappeared into the ground again. Her red umbrella fell and bounced on the road full of hydrangeas, and her body collapsed on the rain-soaked dirt ground. Well, I guess I wasn't far off, actually. Senpai? For a second, my mind goes blank, but then I run to her. Are you alright? She's looking down. I wonder what she's staring at, and when I trace her line of sight, I see the sleeve of her uniform. How? Senpai? Something's different. Wrong. Your wrist. Beyond her left arm. There's only a sleeve left. The torn sleeve of the uniform stretches out like an empty bag and hangs over the ground. Did she get attacked by Kira Yoshikage? You know? Her hand got chopped off. She glances at her sleeve, staggers to her feet, and sits down again. Silence fills the place like a bottomless swamp. My bad. She suddenly opens her mouth. She's completely back to normal. Excessively normal. I accidentally fell. Being too playful is reckless, huh? Huh? But Senpai, I'm fine. Thank you for your concern. Senpai, your left hand? Yeah? Oh, okay. Well, I did think that it got chopped off, but it didn't. Okay. She tilts her head and stretches out her left hand from inside the sleeve. My left hand? What's wrong with it? I try to say something. I'm about to ask something, but I stop myself. I hold my breath within my chest. I can't say anything. There's a wall that strongly rejects me. She's rejecting me. No, I'm just glad you're safe. Sorry I worried you. She stands up, picking up the umbrella that was lying around. She turns to me to say, Then let's resume sightseeing, Haruya-kun. I want to go farther. I think it's creepy. I thought of her as a strange person many times before. I thought she was someone who lived outside the norm. But that's the first time I ever felt uneasy. Haruya-kun? Yes? Aren't you coming? I'm coming. Even after all that, she's still happily yelling and letting out sounds of admiration. We can take a picture together, but I don't know how to look at her. White mist covers the entire hydrangea garden. We both walk through it. Senpai and I alone. Okay, well that was just kind of weird. I don't know. We thought we saw like a monster chop off her arm or her hand, but actually that didn't happen. It's like, what? Okay. Alright. Is she like a lizard? I don't know. She did want to say, she did say she wanted to have like eyes that aren't like, human eyes. I don't know. Anyway. The following day after school in the literature club room, I'm waiting alone in the club room, but there's no sign of a senpai coming. The small room is filled with suffocating silence, and the sound of rain falling outside can be heard strangely loud. A gray sky peeks through the window. It's the first time she hasn't come to club activity. The literature club is very laid back. Rather than a club activity, it'd be more correct to call it an after-school hangout, and that's exactly why I'm worried about her. I wonder if she's come to school. I'm worried, but I don't know what to do. Even if asked if her body's okay, she'd act as nothing happened. so I wouldn't be able to say anything else. Frustration builds up and turns to irritation. All I can think of is Senpai and that shadow that caught my eye. The shadow that jumped out of the ground and probably ripped off her wrist before disappearing into the ground again. Just what was that? Just what was that thing? And why would she try to keep its existence hidden? Should I also act like I saw nothing? My head rummages through my memories and pulls out the nationwide serial murder case. On the news, the number of casualties has increased by 1 again. Naturally, I connected two incidents in my head. I mean, it could be that you're just crazy. How do you? Maybe you're just seeing things? You're just delusional? I don't know. Well, isn't the shadow the one attacking people all over the country and not an ordinary murderer? If that were the case, it would explain why it's been so difficult to track down the criminal, as well as why the crimes have spread across the country. That could explain it. Is that possible? What was that shadow in the first place? Was it really there? Maybe what she said about tripping is true, and the shadow has just been the product of my imagination. It's too confusing. Any speculation is like trying to grasp the sky. The only thing I can be sure of is that we're in a dangerously suspicious and mysterious situation. There's no point in thinking about it, so I leave the club room. I take out my smartphone from my pocket to see the time, but there's no news from Senpai. As I'm walking in the cloudy weather, something crawls up my neck. The sensation makes me want to scream, but I barely manage to hold it back. Maybe an insect or something? I try to wipe my nape with my hand, but I can't get rid of that feeling. My neck is wet. The shuddering comes up to my ear. Tonight, it will rain. I'm shivering. A voice that sounds like it's coming from the depths of the earth makes my eardrums vibrate. At the time of the boar, I shall await at the door of your dwelling. Something pops in my ear. When I cautiously touch my ear, my fingertips are wet. What just happened? Fear like never before overcomes me. I feel like I've been touched by something I shouldn't have knowledge of, by something I should have never heard. How come I keep meeting things like these? I don't understand. All I can piece together is that something supernatural is haunting the town, and it seems to be trying to get in touch with me. Okay, suddenly I didn't realize this visual novel. Yeah, but it suddenly is supernatural. What is this? Is this a Junji Ito, comic or manga, whatever? The Junji Ito story? I'm not sure. Again, this game wasn't tagged as horror, so I don't think it's like a cosmic horror thing happened. I don't know. I'm caught in something, and the fact that Senpai was attacked yesterday must be part of that. With uneasiness in my heart, I walk back home with heavy steps. I mean, it would be kind of interesting if it was, actually. If it was kind of like, like a monster thing that's like, like Cthulhu-esque, but I don't know. I don't think it's, the game page and everything doesn't really hint towards that. I'm not sure. Anyway. Tonight it will rain. It's pouring, just as the voice whispered in daytime. At the time of the boar, I shall wait at the door of your dwelling. The time of the boar. When I looked it up, it was from 10 p.m. to midnight. The time is close. I sit at the front door, waiting for the time to come. I've turned off the lights in my room. My parents are already in bed. The house is pitch black. Amid that, I hunch over and endure the tension. My hands and feet are cold because of the tension, and the back of my throat is tight. Maybe I could distract myself better if I waited outside rather than staying still. It's raining, so I grab an umbrella. Holding something in my hand makes me feel a little bit better. 10 p.m. I don't like it. Putting the smartphone in my pocket, I stand up. I pick up my umbrella and unlock the front door, paying close attention to making as little noise as possible. Wait, why would you follow the instructions, though? There's like a mysterious voice that tells you what to do. Maybe you should just not do it, but we're doing it anyway, I guess. I don't know. Cold, rainy air rushes into the crack of the open door. Both the entrance and the outside are pitch black. I open my umbrella, take a step outside, and slowly close the door. It's my first time going out at this hour, especially when it's raining. The streetlights near my house shine their light into the wet pavement. I have the uncomfortable feeling of standing in the wrong place at the wrong time. I wonder if Senpai would pass by my house. I'll probably feel a little bit better then. Usually that would be impossible, but since we're talking about her, it might truly happen. Besides, I think like this kind of an atmosphere strangely suits her. I'm staring at the pitch black sky while thinking about such things, and when I look down, a wave runs through my body. Something is emerging from the ground. From where I stand on my feet, and from the firm ground, it's rising little by little, as if a face were sticking out of the water. It's like an optical illusion. Things I always took for granted are being shaken. I become uneasy. A fish. It's a shark. Oh no, it's Gura, the shark of VTuber. Maybe not. What's emerging is a huge shark. However, what's completely different from ordinary sharks are the gigantic human dentures that appears as it surfaces. Okay, human that is a thing actually. I think I looked it up actually, and there is some fish that do have human-like teeth, I think, as far as I know. But obviously sharks aren't supposed to have that. So it's just kind of creepy. Human teeth are lined up in the mouth of the fish, the tongue contained in the back. They look like teeth that could easily bite iron. Rows of teeth put closely together. One single front tooth is as big as my spread out hand. Pretty big. Monster! Monster! My whole body is frozen. I feel simple, pure fear as I perceive my life in danger. My body refuses to move. Weak and pallid as my blood had been drained. I stand still, my stare glued to the monster in front of me as it slowly opens its mouth. You know, I didn't realize the main antagonist of this visual novel is a giant shark. You know, it's like this kind of, a giant shark that, like, you know, comes out of the pool of water from the rain. You know, it's not even in the ocean. It's like literally on the sidewalk through a puddle. I don't know. On time, I thank you. The shark lets out a heavy voice that makes the core of my body tremble. I'm surprised he can speak. His voice has an eerie sound, like something non-human, attempting to imitate a human's voice and failing. I am the rain Ayakashi, Fukai Murasame no Ani, the monstrous shark of the abyssal zone. Okay, wait, what? What is this? Very complicated name. Rain Ayakashi? He has given me his name, but I couldn't quite catch the rest on the first try. Despite my confusion, the Rain Ayakashi continues. How shall I address you? What is my name? Correct. Haruya Shitaji. Haruya Shitaji. Shitaji don't know. Yes. I visit you on this night for nothing else but to request your help. Okay, it's not an antagonist, it's like a spirit asking for help? I don't. What direction is this story taking? This is like wild. To ask me? Correct. The other day, incidentally, it would seem you were in a flower garden of a woman. How was she called? I'm at a loss for words. The Rain Ayakashi is referring to my senpai. Should I really mention her name here? Worry not. The monster adds as if he could sense my internal conflict. We are old friends. I solely wish to know the name she goes by here. I can't take in a single word the monster says. That monster and senpai are supposedly acquainted? What does he mean by here? And does that mean she has another name besides Yukino Akabane? Is she secretly a shark girl? Undoubtedly, there are many things you want to ask about. I shall talk about those later. But for that purpose, firstly, could you tell me how I should refer to her? I feel that the shark monster's tone has softened ever so slightly. For the time being, I decide to follow what he says. To begin with, I'm not a brave enough person who could go against such an opponent head on. Okay, so we're just gonna throw her under the bus. Don't worry about it. Yukino Akabane, that's her name. Yukino Akabane, I see. The Rain Ayakashi repeats the name several times and nods. Have you been with Yukino Akabane for a long time? No, since last spring. But you seem to get along very well. I don't know why, but like I'm getting the feeling this Rain Ayakashi is her dad. You know, I'm probably wrong. But like, I don't know. I'm just getting the feeling that this is her dad. She's actually a shark girl, like a kind of like a mermaid shark girl, and this is her dad, like getting an idea for a future boyfriend. You know, I don't know, maybe not. I could be completely off the mark. It would be kind of silly though, because it'd be like a romantic comedy anime. I don't know. Anyway, but you seem to get along very well. I don't know, maybe so. Such an ambiguous way of declaring so. Is it because of Ikuno Akabane's behavior that you're making your words vague? I can't say for sure that's not the case. This seems to be a relationship that cannot be easily explained. Is this being prying into my private life? I feel a little annoyed, but I can't really say anything back because the other party is, well, a huge shark. Pathetic. I mean, it's just a shark, right? It can't swim, as far as I know, right? Just kind of like, I don't know. Just go inside your house. Can I don't know. I feel like a shark or like a fish is not that scary because it swims, right? It can't exactly grow legs and walk on land, can it? I mean, I guess it's a magical fish. I don't know, it can do whatever it wants. It probably floats. I don't know. What kind of person does Yukino Akabane appear to be in your eyes? In a word, she's a weirdo. She's an unpredictable person who's always full of energy and tries to get close to other people. Yeah, that's it. She seems like she's starving to interact with other people. I'd say that's the kind of person she is? I see. Yes, I see. I see. Humans may still look strange in her eyes. What do you mean? I should be forthright. The air is tense. Firstly, Yukino Akabane is not human. Huh? Neither she nor I live in this world. We are foreigners who came here from another world. We are Ayakashi. We are neither humans nor birds or beasts, neither flowers nor fish. The monster says indifferently as if reading a script. Of course, my understanding can't catch up. Ayakashi? If Senpai isn't a human being, is she in the same category as this monstrous shark? Oh boy, here comes the exposition, by the way. This is the exposition shark. Of course, you as a human will find it hard to believe. However, the fact that I'm in front of you like this is the best proof that my story is no hoax. Not really. You could be lying. Anyway, it's just as the Rain Ayakashi says. He's hit the nail on the head, but I can't easily accept it. In other words, the reason why Yukino Akabane wants to close the distance with you isn't because she wants to observe in more detail the strange human beings she mingles with. And perhaps that kind of attitude is seen as eccentric by other humans, and therefore they are wary of her. The monster's speculation about Senpai's position is mostly correct. And according to the Rain Ayakashi, the fact that she isn't human may have cast a shadow over the relationship between me and her. Honestly, even if you tell me all that, I don't understand. I really don't. What's going on? I guess I'm being unreasonable. However, we must move forward. Every second counts, and tonight's rain will soon stop falling. Alright, see you later, by the way. Just as the Rain Ayakashi says, the rain is gradually decreasing its momentum. Maybe the shark can't appear unless it's raining. Let me be blunt. Right now, I am here with an important order from my master. Such order is to bring Yukino Akabane back, even if I must kill her. Okay? She's wanted, dead or alive. Even you have to kill? Huh? Why? Aren't you friends? It would seem that a murder case has recently been making headlines in this country. I certainly remember. The serial murder case. Before we went out to the hydrangea garden, we talked about that incident. What about... No, you can't be saying that she... Correct. The Rain Ayakashi nods without saying anything. Like that, I can't continue the second sentence. No, I mean, why would she ever do such a thing? Why would she... Listen. For us to live in your world, we need life energy. To us, it's like the air that fills your lungs when you dive into the water. Yukino Akabane no longer has the life energy needed to sustain the diving. Originally, she should have already returned to our world, but she stubbornly refuses to go back. You don't want to go back to land, but you're almost out of breath. In that situation, what will you do? Surface for diving again? Correct. She attacks and eats humans who use them as energy to live here. Is her tyranny? Is her tyranny not too extreme? Okay, I guess suddenly she's the one eating people. You know, you think the giant shark would be the one eating people, but you know. Is she really attacking people and devouring them to death? No, that's impossible. Right now, Yukino Akabane is harming the world out of resentment. I absolutely cannot forgive such an extreme display of wickedness and violence. Therefore, we are trying to subjugate her in order to maintain the peace and order in both worlds. Wait, do you have any proof about Senpai killing people? It's a pity I can't demonstrate it to you. I should have shown you how I cut off Yukino's hand in the flower garden. That time? Was that something he did so I would see? There was one more victim that night. That's what Yukino did to restore her health. Think about it. Running around the country, killing arbitrarily, and still not getting caught. It's a very unmanageable feat for a human, is that not so? That's right, but recently she seems to be exhausted. Isn't Yukino showing signs of being tired? It's just as the Rain Ayakashi says. I'm speechless. Half of myself is in agreement, while the other half doesn't want to admit it. Okay, why are we believing this giant flowing shark, by the way, that suddenly appeared out of nowhere and is giving exposition of how, like, the magic spirit world works? You know, we're just gonna believe that in a few sentences? I don't know. I would think I'm like crazy. You know, I need to be sent to a mental asylum because I'm seeing a giant shark telling me that my senpai kills people and she like is a monster. I don't know. It's weird. Therefore, I was dispatched from my original world to take on the task of subjugating Yukino Akabane, and now I have a favor to ask of you. Will you lure Yukino Akabane out? Me? Are you asking me to cooperate? Correct. I want you to bring Yukino Akabane to a specified place at a specified time. She trusts you, and therefore wouldn't be wary if it was your invitation. But that's... The rain is stopping. The Rain Ayakashi looks up at the sky and muttered, I must go. My people need me. Aren't you being too one-sided here? You must tell nobody. I shall let you know in advance that I possess a keen sense of smell, and I loathe the smell of lies. In other words, if you talk about it, I will know immediately. More a threat than a warning. On the morrow at night, it will rain again. I shall listen to your reply at that time. I would like you to fully consider it until then. The Rain Ayakashi says so with a mouth wide open on purpose. Its oral cavity full of intimidation dangles in front of my eyes. I look forward to your humane judgment and response. Okay, well, that's just weird. This is just weird. What a weird plot point. To have a giant talking shark with human teeth talk to us in the middle of the night and explain the like a whole like magical supernatural thing that apparently is happening and we just believe it. I don't know. It's just very strange to me. Anyway. After saying that, the monster shark burrows deep into the ground. The rain has already stopped. I stand from the entrance for a while. I open the door in a daze and drag my heavy body to the bed of my dark room. When I throw my body on the mattress, my strength suddenly disappears. My head is spinning round and round. I can't help but believe it's all a lie. Do I really have to give an answer to that monstrous question by the following night when I can hardly process night's events as a reality? I wish tomorrow would never come. I close my eyes and frankly push the hopeless thoughts out of my mind. In my head filled with darkness, the figure of Senpai remains at the end. It doesn't go away. It's just weird. What a weird story. I mean, I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see where it goes. The following day after school, in the literature club room, I threw my bag on the desk and put my face down. I attended the school as usual, but I couldn't focus. I managed to somehow make it through. On the morrow night, it will rain again. I shall listen to your reply at that time, and I would like to fully consider that. I keep thinking about it, but I can't come up with an answer. Since last night, the serial murder case has increased the number of victims by 2. Maybe the Rain Ayakashi wasn't just talking crap. However, I can't betray Senpai. It seems she is inhuman and is attacking people at night, even though the truth is unknown. It's still a shock that I can hardly accept. I want to talk to her, but I haven't seen her since our visit to the hydrangea garden. In the first place, the rain Ayakashi is observing my movements from the rain. Of course, it would be a lie if I said I'm not afraid of the rain Ayakashi. Even now, his gigantic gums keep flashing through my mind. That sight frightened me and made me feel more powerless. I mean, I'm being honest. I mean, I guess in real life, maybe, if you can imagine something like that. But to me, this image is kind of silly. You know, it looks silly. My suspension of belief is I don't know. The game is really testing that. Anyway. Also, I always forget, is it suspension of belief or suspension of disbelief? I always don't really understand. It's suspension of disbelief. Okay, so basically choosing to put your disbelief away, and just accept everything. I feel like suspension of belief is also makes sense though. You're suspending your belief in reality. That's how I see it. You're suspending the belief of how the real world works, basically. But it's suspension of disbelief rather. So you have to pretend that you accept everything, but it's kind of hard, because it's so sudden. It's suddenly the giant shark just gives you exposition out of nowhere. I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna let it go, and we'll see where the story goes. I'm frustrated and scared. I'm definitely not going to cooperate, but when I think about what may happen to me, I can't help but waver in my decision. What's it going to do? It's going to flop around? Anyway, my mind is in chaos. I can't think clearly. What should I do? Shitachi-kun is dead. The sudden sound of the door, followed by a voice I hadn't heard in a while, makes me turn around. Yes, this girl. Hi there. Hello, President. It's been a while. Right. How have you been? I've been okay. Your complexion tells me you're lying. The club president, she's as detached as always. Do you have something to do here? Sure do. I want to borrow some books. There's a bookshelf in the corner of the leisure club room. The club magazine's there, and the books brought in by the club members are lined up so that anyone can read them freely. I don't know why, but she's just drawn weirdly for some reason. I don't know. It's her hair. Her hair and her forehead doesn't seem aligned. She seems like she's tilting to the left, right? Or to her right, I guess. But, but her hair isn't really following that, so it looks like she's wearing a wig. That's what it feels like. I don't know. You can see the outline of her head there. It's not, I don't know. It's not angled correctly, in my opinion. I don't know. Is it just me? Anyway. You came solo today. Yes, Senpai isn't here yet. How unusual. She's always first to arrive. Maybe she's busy today. I wonder. It seems like she didn't come to school yesterday. Oh? Earth-shattering. Even though she's the very picture of good health. A picture equipped with a perpetual motion engine. Well, Senpai is always fine, though. She's not just fine, she's beyond admirable. She's like a monster. The president suddenly stops digging through the bookshelf, and she tilts her head and looks up at the ceiling for a second. Then she turns to face me and says, 80% of the time, mindless talk is what digs one's grave. You really dug yourself into a hole. I shot myself in the bed I made, and now I must lie on my foot. Wait, that's not how that idiom goes. The president nods, then she starts rummaging through the bookshelves again. I can't quite figure out what she's nodding to, but something suddenly bothers me, so I ask her. Come to think of it, both you and Yukino-senpai have written for the club magazine before. That's taboo. Huh? Reading the club magazine inside a club room is forbidden. This is a pact amongst the members of the leisure club to maintain our mutual mental well-being. It can save lives. Your life, for example. My life, for example. I see. So I better not touch it now. Shitachi-kun, you should also be prepared. The fate of writing in the club magazine is equal for everyone. Such a cruel thing. I see. After stuffing several books into her bag, she stands up and stretches. Are you going home? Yes, I'm done with what I came here for. Go work today. When I stop her, she was already heading toward the door. She turns around. I wonder if it would be strange to ask such a question out of the blue, But since I already called out to her, I can't withdraw now. President, do you know why Yukino-senpai joined the literature club? Well, I was never made privy to such information. Oh, so you don't know. I'm surprised by her answer. In addition to the particular wording, I'm taken aback because she doesn't seem to know a lot about Senpai. Did you think I knew? She asks if she read my mind. I'm unable to read the emotions of the eyes peeking behind the glasses. Weren't you also in this club with Yukino-senpai last year? That's why I thought you would know. At my words, she brushes her bangs and sighs. She seems hesitant for a bit, but apparently decides to reply. I'm not interested in knowing such a thing. Or, I pretend I'm not. Huh? If you're interested in someone, that means you want to get involved with said person, right? I'm tired of doing that, so I abandoned that fight. There's no profit, but also no losses. I don't want to bet on anything. I had no idea she felt that way. This girl, she seems very similar to me. Bane-chan's amazing. It's like her chips float out endlessly. Even when she loses, the holes get filled again. Maybe that's how you eventually become rich. That's what it means, being worthy of respect. I understand what the president's trying to say, but is it really true? I'm sorry, could it be that I've been saying weird things all this time? Is Senpai really as invisible or invincible as the president says? Even if it's eventually filled, isn't a hole still a hole? Anyway, even if the pain disappears, isn't a wound still a wound? Well, I'm going, see you. Yes, good work today. She puts her hand on the door handle, but she suddenly seems to remember something and turns around. The club magazine. Why don't you take a look? I think Bane-chan wrote something. The club magazine. I'm surprised by her unexpected suggestion. Isn't reading the club magazine taboo? It's fine as long as it doesn't affect me. What a tyrant. I'm merely acknowledging my freedom and rights. And with this, I'm done here. Bye. And with that, she leaves. I'm left alone. As soon as the president closes the door, I take out the club magazine from the bookshelf. Looking at the table of contents, I see Senpai's name several times. I feel like very mundane, by the way. Compared to the giant shark and everything. It just feels... The tone is like really, all over the place. As I approach the works one by one, I find a certain entry. Window by Yukino Akebane, first year. I like books. Amazing. No, I like books. I especially like novels. And I like looking out the window. No matter who you are, you only live once. Yes, YOLO. No one can ever escape their own lives and go to someone else's. Sometimes I wonder if life is like a bug cage. Everybody's trapped in insect cages. Unable to go out and into the outside world, I fear that I have no choice but to keep all parts of myself within the cage. But there are books in this world. A book is at least part of someone's life. A book is a small outside world. So to speak, it's like a window into a human room. Through the window, you can see the scenery outside. There's no exit from this insect cage, but there are many open windows. And I like looking out the window. I'm still looking out the window from the literature club room. I'm dazed for a while. When I regain my composure, I think of Senpai. What kind of life did she live in her original world? How did she come to this world? I try to imagine it. A sound takes me by surprise and I turn around. It's the second time today that I turn toward the door after I hear someone's voice. There she is. Hello, Haruya-kun. Senpai. She comes in the room stumbling and sits down in her usual seat. Her complexion looks noticeably bad. On my end, I hurriedly put the club magazine back on the shelf. Still, I don't think it's a bad thing to read the club magazine in the literature club. Haruya-kun, that's taboo. The club president said so too. The president? Did she come here today? Yes, to borrow books. Oh, really? I'd like to see her. She says lazily, resting her hand on her chin. I wonder if her tiredness hasn't gone away. Feel free to read the club magazine. So, it isn't taboo for you? Nope, I don't really care. I've already read what I wanted to read though, so I don't take it out again. Instead, I sit in my usual chair. Are you not feeling well? Kinda. I've been tired lately. For a second, she looks exhausted. However, she suddenly corrects her sitting posture. Hey, Haruya-kun. Yes? She calls out to me and speaks in a serious tone. Instinctively, I sit upright too. This is just a hypothetical. If I had to leave here soon, would you be okay? What's wrong all of a sudden? There's nothing wrong, but yesterday, while I was resting at home, I had this thought. I was wondering what you were doing at school without me. I laughed at by myself because I couldn't imagine you being alone in this room. Am I being rude? No, I can't really imagine it either. I see. If I'm getting your stamp of approval, then I guess it's really fine. Is it even possible for you to leave? You love our literature club. Is that how you see me? That's what my intuition tells me. Your intuition is spot on. But well, I think I could deal with it. I was alive and well before coming here, so I don't think it was some inseparable bond or anything. But I think the way we live keeps changing, and so do our needs. For example, cigarettes and alcohol for adults. They didn't know the taste of it as children, yet many can't let go of them when they grow up. Is that the same for our club? She sighs. She gets up from her chair and leans against the window. With her back toward me, she continues talking. I have to graduate. Isn't graduation still some time away? That's right. Well, I'm getting a little sentimental, you see. Yesterday I lost my perfect attendance at both club and in school. I'm a little down. She looks back at me with a troubled smile. She said my intuition's good. If so, then surely this is a roundabout way of saying goodbye. It's just my guess, but she must have realized the situation she's in after being attacked by the Rain Ayakashi. And after thinking it through for a day, she showed up to the club again after coming to a decision. She also most likely believes I know nothing. But she's wrong about that, as I have somehow been involved in it. I don't know everything, but at least I do know what the Rain Ayakashi told me. Senpai. Yes? I have to answer her question. If you were to leave soon, would I be okay? That's what you asked. Oh, yes. Can you give me a reply? I can tell. At first glance she looks like usual, but I can tell there's a hint of anxiety on her face. If you were gone, Senpai,